Craig M's here for Wedding Film School, and today we're going to look inside the edit for Sean and Connie's wedding film here. So the film is one of my typical 6-minute wedding films. That's what I call it, but it's pretty much an extended highlight. It shows the entire day, but what I did differently was that I treated this first minute as like a separate film and then transitioned into like a 5-minute normal version. So let's get into it right at the beginning. So like always, you'll notice my custom crop marks over at the top here. So it's just a PNG file, and I use guide frames whenever I shoot. And you'll notice that, you know, for this clip, like I moved it up a little bit, and you can actually see it keyframe down to help with the motion. And that can only happen because I have this crop. So I'm shooting a frame that's taller than what I'm exporting, so that gives me latitude to like move it up or down or do a bunch of different things with it, and I like that, you know. So music, video, and audio comes in really slowly at the beginning here, just because it's like some nice piano instrumental moving right up. And like always, you'll notice that I've got this half a second here of black before, because I just think that it's best if when viewing, it just punches into exactly when. I wouldn't want a video player to just like sit and show what I like. That allows me to control it. So fade in, I've got this very thin type, which now that I look at it doesn't really seem centered. It's tough because this is different number of letters than this, so I can't really get the plus sign in the middle. But let me just show you. So this was shot with a DJI Phantom 3 Pro. Did a bunch of color. So this whole commentary is probably going to focus a lot on the color. So that's what the raw footage looked like, and that's what I changed it to. I pretty much got this to where I wanted, but I shot as flat as possible with the drone. So as far as the effects, I had a balanced color and then color finale and then a further tweak. So the first thing I did was I did Option Command B in Final Cut X, and I did an auto balance color. So as far as color and exposure, this is what Final Cut thought it should look like. And I usually like to use this as like a start, you know. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So that gave me that, and then I opened up color finale, and I made those tweaks. And if we open up the panel, this is a third-party plugin that you can have. I used the LUT utility to give it that. It gave it a lot of contrast and a bit of the more blues in the darks and then yellows in the highlights to give it kind of that filmic look. And then with the color wheels, I tweaked it a little more just to get rid of some of that contrast. And then once I did that, I did one more slight adjustment with the color board to pull back the blacks a little bit. So if you look at it, like I used 3 different effects here for the color, and I actually went back and forth a little bit, which isn't the best. So that may not have worked as well as it could have, but it ended up being fine in the end. So with a shot, you know, pulling up to the location like this, I definitely I did like a little bit of a tilt up as I pushed in with the drone. But this keyframing that I did here, you can notice the change right here as we play. It goes down. And it's skipping now because we did something that made it want to redo that. Let's just get rid of that. Stop. I don't want any processing. So we did that. I will replace it. If you lose your earrings, I will get you new. I don't know why it wants to process. If you lose your if you lose patience. So we have I pretty much took my favorite shots of the day and I put it in this first minute. And some of it is in chronological order, some of it isn't, especially like this. I actually shot the morning after because I was in Montauk in New York for a while. So as far as footage of the day, the first thing I shot, if we look into my my raw clips here, were the shoes. So I did a couple different shoe shots, and then I did like close-ups panning to the Dolce & Gabbana. I wanted to show that, but ended up settling on just this little thing. So I set my focus to the jewels, which was the most interesting part, and then just did a nice little, you know, tilt down to them. Sometimes you just want to keep it simple and not even futz with the focus, especially if you can punch in, get the digital zoom right where you want it so it's sharp, and then just move the camera to that point.
It'll be fine then. If you lose.
So this shot was interesting because we had like all this stuff on the table. It looked beautiful. I love photos of the couple. It's just like a really cool thing. But then I actually walked in front of the camera to get this effect. And I actually have 3 different shots. I'm not sure. I didn't use this one. So that's just like a tilt down. And then this was like a pan over. And I used the one that was static. And if you're going to have like a static shot, there should be something that moves. So I actually put it on the tripod there. And then you can see me moving. So I was moving in front of the window just to get some of these effects. So, you know, it doesn't matter who it is. So I know exactly what I need to go do. So I go and just give these lighting changes. It's you know, it's something that I've been doing more and more just to give that little bit of like light texture. It's cool. As far as color, you know, used color finale, added a lot of contrast, maybe too much contrast actually. A lot of contrast and a little bit of color change.
If you lose your
So this was shot with the seagull shot from my hotel room. So this was actually like outside my balcony. Like I was on the first floor, but I had like beach access. So shot with a 70 to 200 on a 6D. And yeah, I just love it because I have this little bit of blue with the bokeh from the light on the water. This is like dead in the morning. I shot this. So this, and this was all shot from the same spot in the morning. So got a heavy backlight. You know, if there's like tiny bits of like wind blowing the grass here.
If you lose patience, I will have enough for.
I'm stopped down quite a bit for this.
If you lose hope, I will try to inspire you. If you are lost, I will look for you. You will.
I was waiting for that seagull to like turn its head or something, but it never happened. It was just like static. But on a 70 to 200, it just fucking looks dope, you know. And as far as her voiceover here, it starts off very low, but I just wanted it to gradually fill up. Even if you can't hear what she's saying, sort of.
Beautiful Connie.
That's fine with me. Yeah. And the song is an instrumental. It's good. So you'll also notice that this piece of audio right here is from the beach, from where I shot my hotel. So it's just like a very subtle waves sound effect that comes up.
You'll be fine then. If you lose your.
Just to help with this and this.
If you lose patience, I will have enough
those
for
effects
both of
really
us.
help. And once again, the title is just Railway Light Very, and then I go into the advanced here, and then I add the line spacing, because that makes it separate the letters from each other. And I think that gives it more of an elegant wedding feel to it.
If you lose hope, I will try to inspire you. If you are
Some more
lost,
wave
I will
sounds
look
here.
for you. You will.
So her audio here was captured with a Video Mic Pro on top of my camera as she was doing her card opening and reading. So I was as close to her as I could, yet still getting a shot of like her reading and opening the stuff. I upped the level to 7 dB to get it somewhere close to normalization, and I believe I used the loudness. So without the loudness, you know, it goes down. So that was definitely necessary, for sure. Just to, you know, make it so you could hear her talk. You know, I pretty much do the auto loudness effect to most of my dialogue. and then if I have to bring it up, I'll bring it up, and nothing is peaking, so works out in the end. So then this was just where she was getting ready. I loved like how sharp the blinds are versus the background, so that's a cool shot. I almost didn't get the shot. This is like the only spots of seconds that work.
You will never lose me because I...
So if we Command R this, you'll see that it's like, it's reverse, and it's also 1,500 times quicker. So just that last second, because there's like a little sound effect right here. So if we isolate this, that helps sell this. I just thought, you know, I liked this very simple, beautiful shot of like the plane going overhead, and this links to the shot that we had over here. But I thought it, I don't know, I just thought it would look cool going backwards, especially with the clouds coming in like that. So.
You will never lose me because I will love you always.
So this song has a swell right here and then a hit right here. So this is like the main focus of the wedding film, their love, and then these two. We need to know who this is about. So
because I will love you.
The whole beginning hits to this moment.
Because I will love you always.
So this is also shot with a DJI. And the color is crazy here. So shot flat, it's like that. And it's just very contrasty and green. Looks cool. Shot this with a 70-200 outside. I just went around getting some shots, and I warmed it, gave it a little tiny bit of contrast, and then warmed it up a ton, just with the normal balance color, and it did that quite well. So that's the option Command B. And then it doesn't make sense, like it's not in chronological order, but this is the church, and had a little tiny bit of warmth and contrast added, just a tiny bit. So slider, 70-200 again. I just liked, you know, focusing on the color of the windows there. And I like matching, if I'm gonna do two slider shots, I like it when they are going the same direction and they kind of match each other in that. So these are both with the 70-200. Having things in the foreground helps sell your slider. It bugs me that this is not level though. It's like a tiny bit off, but if, like, looking back on it, I should have changed it. I would just, you know, increase the scale to like 1,002%, and then I would be able to rotate it just like 1% so that that's level. So I actually added quite a bit. So this is the first Sony A7S shot that we have in the footage in the wedding film. So I had a second with me, so it was me and a second shooting this wedding, and I had the Canon 6D and he had a Sony A7S. So with no effects. Okay, so this is, I need to separate this, so Command Shift G. And okay, so this is actually a very interesting shot because this one on top is just a duplicate of what was underneath it, and you can see that I did it to mask out this stick because that was bothering me. So what I did was, we're gonna zoom in quite a bit here, and I'm gonna show you how I masked that out. So what I did was I just placed, like, you can see it when it's zoomed all the way in here, that it's just what's next to it. So I had the same effects applied to both so that they would look similar, but I just took a square from here and then moved it over. So you know, technically you can see it. I could have like feathered out the edges a little bit, but that would have taken more work. And honestly, I was surprised at how well this quick fix made it work, you know. So that was just a quick little thing that helped that. But as far as the effects, the color finale, so the A7S shot super flat. So I pretty much pulled down the darks and then added saturation to give it like a base look. And this is pretty drastic just because I wanted this shot to like stand out. So it gave it a lot more. And I actually added a focus, which I rarely do. So I added like just a little bit of like focus just to help the shot. And now that I look at it now, it seems pretty drastic, and it's taking away the beautiful sharpness of these clouds up here, because I love how it's like gray, blue. There's a little bit of a curve, which is kind of crazy. I forget what lens they were shooting on, but you can definitely tell the curve. But yeah. And this is like what I call my Wes Anderson shot. So I'm like, go get me a Wes Anderson shot. He's like, cool. Probably would have been better if it was on a tripod, but I think I use stabilization. Yeah. So for a lot of these shots, I use stabilization, especially the slider shots, you know. So I had to use stabilization for this. This was like, I almost didn't want to use this. So this is like completely blown out moon. It was like a full moon that night. I just wanted the movement of these clouds, and I wanted that to be blue. So I kind of made this a bit more gray by pulling up the darks. And I just kind of like that shot. You know, I had a couple different options that had the moon more, you know, exposed correctly, but so this was the Edelkrone with a 35, I believe, and just a tiny bit of color finale there for that. And I actually pulled down the song and then pulled it back up with a different spot just so I could hit this correctly. You know, you gotta make changes to the songs to match what you're shooting, so you just have to match up the beats. So like, you know, so this is from the reception details. I just like it because it is like a jarring shot, especially with the bokeh from the flames at the end there. It's pretty cool. So this is a shot with the A7S. It's not as remarkable as it could have been. It seems a little overexposed to me. And then it is on a monopod, so it's like moving a little bit. Like it would have been better if it was like directly looking down at the waves as the waves came into frame and out, or maybe even like way lower towards the water, so like you could see the water like rushing towards you. That would have been a better frame for this, because this is just like a mediocre shot. So but I requested like a wave coming in kind of shot, but this is what I got. And then once again I have this little swell here, and then the little weird thing with the noise. So I sped this up like 1,000 times again and made that little change. It's like Inception. It's like, I don't know what to call it, but it's like, I know they used it in Inception. I love this sound right here. It's so good. That sells it for me. Pull up the date. And it's like, this is the transition into it. So that song came down right here. Done. So I actually bring it up very slowly and then hit right on the change. So that shot was interesting. Let's just look at the raw footage. So like I was out there shooting, like getting ready. I was shooting this stuff with the slider, this dress stuff, and then I saw these people coming. So I got this over there really quickly and then just had one chance to get this shot. And I decided to do a focus pull, which is fucking crazy. And she was just like looking at the, you know, obviously she doesn't understand. She's straight looking at me with that face, just looking at me with that face the whole time. So, you know, what am I gonna do? But I got the shot. Maybe it's a little overexposed. The lighting isn't that great, but I think it's a really cool shot to transition to the day. So this was shot Canon 6D. So all these 7B shots are mine, and then the C shots are, yeah, so my second shot this with the Sony. And just to get like a sense, this is like the most basic of correction. It's almost like a lot that I could place on it. So I pull down the, here, let me show you. I pull down this black here, and then I raise the saturation. And then that was pretty much all I did for this shot, and it brings it back to kind of like Rec 07. Like, it gives me some latitude, but, you know, that looks good for me. Looks good. I shot much more contrasty with mine, with my 6D. So this is baked right into the image. So, you know, it really depends. I could have shot flatter, but whatever. Sometimes it's hard to match, but you just have to know what to do to match the cameras in post. I love getting this negative space. You know, like I could have just gone into the door frame and then shot this happening with like a tighter lens, but I kind of just like really, because all of this is just nothing, and it really focuses your attention on this right here. It's not for every shot, but yeah, it's great. And I shot this for, I have 2 clips here, and I was really just waiting for the moment. So shooting this again, waiting, and then I got that smile at the end with the steam, and I liked that. Okay, so this is a little bit of Foley I recorded. So this is actually my voice. That's me literally going. So how crazy is that? So that just like pulls us into the moment. I wanted like, it's like beautiful and like instrumental and like all MOS, and then this is when we get into the craziness of the day. So it's like, I wanted that to be a cool transition. And like, just, she is gorgeous. Easy Dave shooting. Dat tripod though. I typically don't do that, but I just liked the smiles and the grammar. Not a fan of this transition here, especially because like it seems like a weird jump cut, because we have her, and then we obviously, I'm just like switching the camera over a tiny couple of inches, yet it's like a completely different place in the same time. So probably should have done that. But once again, I'm a sucker for smiles, so. That cracked iPhone. So here, let me get rid of this. So this is where the crop marks come in handy. So like, look at all the crackedness of that iPhone. So I could hide that a little bit. I love getting it when people are taking photos with their iPhones. I think it's fun. So this is 7200 on the slider outside. I just took like 5 or 10 minutes to go get slider shots. So this is when I got that reverse plane shot. So as far as color finale, added contrast, added blue, kind of aqua. Maybe it's a little too blue, but I think it looks more interesting. And this is a good typical reveal slide shot. Honestly, like I've been doing so much sliding with the 70-200. It's like my favorite thing now. So. So my second took care of groom prep.
Sweet. Got the shot.
Maybe I didn't do the best of coloring with this, but it's very flat, and I handled the colors a little strangely on the face. Like the skin tones aren't perfect in my opinion. Use camera clicks.
Oh yeah, that one.
Photographers, put it on silent, please.
Sweet. Got the shot.
This audio is so important to sell it, you know. So for shots where you don't have skin tone, you can do a bit more drastic of coloring. And once again, I like this negative space.
I was lost within the...
So she didn't have whatever that is called, clothes hanger. So we had to make do with that, which is the only bad thing. But having this in the foreground helps sell the slide shot. It's inviting if we pull in. You know, this is obviously overexposed and we have this gutter, so maybe it wasn't the best of shots or angles, but we made do. It was like a conveniently placed nail right there.
In the largest ocean, I was buried.
I added stabilization a bit to this, but no color correction actually, which is strange.
I was buried beneath the darkest deep.
So like the A7S, like at first when I saw it, I'm like, oh no, but then like after you pull the sharpness down and add color, it looks much better.
Of all the riches and the simple fortune.
You
So
make me
sometimes it's tough shooting these gift openings just with one person. So like I stick close for when she's actually reading, just so I can get that good audio, which really was good for this one because that's what I used as the main audio to open the film. And then I go back out and I get reactions and details last, because those can always happen. So I got details of the earrings, details of the purse, and then I asked her just to hold it. So like this should be the last thing that you get, because you can get that at any point. You just got to focus on the emotion and like the audio for that moment.
You make me laugh every day. I may be quiet.
I always notice that like if you have audio like this, you want to do this type of audio pull up, just because you don't want to hear the noise, the room tone, until you pull into the audio. It helps it make it less jarring. So like Final Cut wants to do that, but I don't think that's as good as this in this situation, because you want to place this kind of just like right after when the first bit of talking happens.
You make me laugh every day. I mean,
like it could be even more drastic. Let's just hear what that sounds like.
you make me laugh every day.
Like I think that works as well, you know.
You make me laugh every day. I may be quiet.
I just like going back and forth between the two of them.
I may be quiet and don't tell you what I'm thinking all the time, but you
B-roll
truly delight me.
reactions, like that smile is so important. Like the thing that really separates you in shooting this kind of stuff here, like anyone can get the shot of it happening, but like being able to go back and forth to get the reactions is really tough, and these reactions are what sell moments like this.
You truly delight me.
I love that. You truly delight me. So like she laughs, he laughs. It's a good transition matching kind of thing.
This is really high.
Reaction shots like iPhone, my Wes Anderson shot.
Go in the quiet of the dark, in the caverns of my
A
heart.
little bit of talking.
Show
See, that's a good angle of like him opening.
my heart.
Card. I love the light. Like there's a little bit of light coming through, yet my second exposed for the actual light beams and not the shadows, which is so important. So as far as color, that's what it looked like. And like I love when you expose for the highlights.
Show through.
That's a good angle for when they're reading the card instead of just dead on. It's a great reaction.
My gold shimmer
Reactions of the
light.
bridesmaids.
No, it's half the
Dress
fight.
on. So I had a couple different things. Like I had her putting her dress up here, but it just didn't fit. And then they took some time getting the dress on and stuff, but honestly I didn't get that much. It was a bit crazy once she put her dress on, so I had to make do with what I had.
And I know you.
Always put grandma's in. Grandma's are awesome.
Oh my
I
god.
was lost within the largest
So so this is a good example of like sticking on the emotion and the face. So like, yeah, it would be nice to get him opening the box, but like for this moment, like especially when he's like verbally like expressing how much he loves the gift, just focus on the face and the emotion. Like you mess things up by trying to get both at the same time. So just stick with this shot and don't worry about this, because you can always fake this if you feel like you need to get it. Focus on what you need to get the first and only time, you know. So that's why I had to kind of mask it. It works, it's fine, but I had to mask that moment with like what might be happening in the room on the other side.
Oh my god. Wow, that's really nice.
So this is a little overexposed.
Wow, that's really nice.
These shots are kind of awkward just because it isn't very natural. So like instead of asking him to just like hold it out, which I'm sure the photographer asked and was like, can you hold it out? It works for them, but for video it just isn't very authentic to me. So I would say just like have them kind of like just like fix their collar like this for a watch. Just ask them to fix their collar. They'll go like this, they'll go like this, and then you can just get a shot of like him fixing his collar or whatever, fixing this, and then you'll see the watch naturally. So I like authenticity. But it's like you don't even tell them that you're getting the watch. You just kind of direct them in a way that you'll get what you need just by them doing something. So. And this stuff gets me. Like this is what it's all about. Like this father-son hug, and you can just, that's so good. Gets me emotional. I'm glad my second got this. This is the beginning of the frame that I would have liked to have a little bit more, but it's just enough to be like, that's so touching. So that's really important to get. I love the, like, this is a crazy section. I usually wouldn't include like a whip zoom, but it's like a funny, and it just times well with the L'Chaim. It's like a joke gift. Joke gift. Laughing. He's like a funny action moment. The shot's okay, but I just needed a transition to go from that room to out here, so pull in the audio. So this was shot, that's in camera, so that's no color correction. It seems a bit dark to me. I'd probably raise the highlights in the mids a little bit. So you gotta have like him coming. So he actually came way too, like I was waiting for it, and then he just showed up. So let's go to that. So this is the raw footage.
Hey, Jacek, I get you in the frame.
So I was waiting, I was ready, and then I move, and then it comes.
Sean, you can come.
I'm like, fuck. So I just got the exact frame where that works. I got that shot. 3 seconds, and then I expose and reframe for her face. I was moving around a little bit, got that smile. It's just tough with the highlights in the background, you know, it's a very bright day, but that works, you know. I got that kiss, got all this. But I go back and forth. Like this is a good, this would have worked. Like this is, we had the time and we set this shot up, that works. But then my second kind of moved to this angle. So I don't know what changed, because you can't see anything in this shot, but you can, there's enough, you know. Maybe she moved. Nah, she stays in the same spots. Like he should have just stayed in this angle. Like a tripod would have been good for this. So having I had a lapel on him right there, so I used that first look audio. That's important.
Oh yeah, you like it?
Love it.
So I had an exposure change there, but like I love this moment. So.
Oh yeah, you like it?
Love it. You kidding me? Do you like the wall?
What?
The color?
I love it.
Right?
I love it.
Just get the details. Good shot right there. It's all 70 to 200 stuff. So music fades out. We bring in the new song.
My dear friends, you have come together in this church.
Look at that. Look at that rainbow. So after their first look, they did like a whole photo session on the beach, which I kind of skip. I go straight to the ceremony because I pull that back in different moments. So it doesn't have to be chronological. See, and after that, that's when I went around and I had a little bit of time to do my exteriors. And because my second was getting a photo session with all the bridal party. So I just went around and lone wolfed some exteriors. And then we went to the ceremony spot. So, but yes, look at this rainbow lens flare. Love that. I'm not sure I got my exposure correct because I tried to expose, because this seems overexposed to me. So I dropped it down so I could see the color and the contrast and details of the clouds with the sun. But then I lost this, like, I think, yeah. So here's the raw footage of that. I tried it, but I lost the lens flare if I'd stopped down too much. So I made a good judgment call there.
Friends, you have come together in this church.
But like smooth moves, I even made stabilization for that shot. A simple, nice, like this is a better establishing shot than, I don't know, whatever I could have gotten.
Together in this church, so that the Lord may seal and strengthen.
That's a bit crazy, but I don't know. I tried to like find some shot where someone passed in front or anything that I could use a natural transition with this right here, because someone did walk in front of me and I like it because you can see them in the reflection coming. But I just ended on actually doing this light leak, and then I actually made this green screen wipe. So I just like put my hand in front of a green and then I went like that and I just added that, which is insane, but
so that the Lord may seal and strengthen.
It's a bit much, honestly. And then we have like this seagull. So it's like really funny. It's like weird. It's a weird choice on my part. It's like this really dramatic, like whoosh, pulling you into this important shot.
So that the Lord may seal and strengthen.
With like this mysterious music. And it's like seagull. It's like, forget the bride and groom.
In your love.
Magic seagull. So I don't know what I was doing. Just fuck it. Love it.
In the press.
Magic seagull for the win. Look at that magic seagull. Caw-caw. So, yeah.
In the presence of the church's minister and this community.
So slider shot, just pushing in. I believe this is after the ceremony. So yeah, no, this is before the ceremony. So they threw this stuff down. Where is it? I can't find it. Oh yeah, right here. Okay, so I did a couple different shots. Actually, no, this is my second shooting. So my second borrowed the slider. So let's just watch this for a hot second because this is funny. So he had the shot, and then this church lady, straight in the shot, just doing whatever church ladies do. He's like, all right, I'll re-angle it. I'll go for another shot. Pull back, church lady. You can hear him sigh in the audio. He goes for another shot, church lady. So he's like, all right, she's done. I can't see her anymore. Let's do this. Push as we tilt down. No church lady. Good. Tilt up. Look who shows up, church lady. Okay, there we go. And then this last shot was the one that worked. Still church lady. She was everywhere.
Community.
So this was the only audio clip that kind of worked from the ceremony. It was a very long, very religious ceremony, so there wasn't much dialogue to be used. Nothing really about the couple, so I typically wouldn't put this in, but I was looking for anything.
This community.
7200 with stuff in the leaves in the frame. Perfect lighting, backlit, exposed, soft, a little bit of bokeh. She's happy, and you can tell. So it's a wonderful shot. I love that. So good. She's so cute. So another shot. So the color and the exposure is kind of whack on this. And and like the sharpness is like also whack just because of the leaves. Like a camera like this doesn't do so well with the leaves. So you can kind of see like a little bit of moire effect, aliasing kind of in the leaves close up. But I like this shot because obviously the church is different than everything else. So you look at this church, and then also like this car kind of pulls in like this, and it's like very inviting. It's like, and you see, you notice the car, then you notice the people, and it's like they're going to the ceremony. So I shot this before the ceremony. And here's the raw footage. So I did a couple different shots, and I really had zero time to do this. And most of my shots were not as good. So it was like, this is the best I got. And then as far as color for this shot, it was like a ton of contrast and a ton of saturation. And I loved that you could see the ocean, at least in this side. This was where the sun was, so it was overblown out. But yeah, I also did, here, let me get rid of this. And then I did a keyframing of the clip to sell the like looking down as I move forward, which I did a little bit of, but having the crop marks lets me do the keyframing of the actual clip. So that helped. I usually do that for drone shots. So shot's kind of basic. I like the Rolls Royce shot. So I shot a bunch of different clips for this after the ceremony. And let's just watch that real quick. So like, first I was painting up, I'm like, this is a cool shot. But then just coincidentally, I had that car go by and I'm like, wow, the reflection is dope. Let's see if we can do that better. So I went even closer. And then I got this. It wasn't perfect, so I readjusted to where I thought the reflection would work. It was even worse, so I'm just like, fuck it. Spending way too much time. So I moved on.
Sacrament. So
there's like a weird bug. Two bugs that kind of fly by, but it works.
So that you may assume the duties of marriage in mutual.
I really like this shot, but that's all I got, and the focus is off. But I like seeing the groom approaching, like he's thinking, he's like bowing his head a little bit.
The duties of marriage in mutual and lasting fidelity.
So this A7S footage indoors, bit of contrast and saturation, you know. So I shot a ton. This was before the ceremony. See how much I'm jumping around? So first off, I got them approaching with the car, but she was on the wrong side. It was just all the dad, and like the dad was just like leaning forward and stealing the show. But then he realizes it. You know, if he was leaning back, I probably could have gotten that shot, but it was too late. And like the photographer was in the right, you know, photographer's always in the car, so. So if he was leaning back at this point, I probably could have sold it. But to 9. She's like spiking the camera, it's just not working. So I got these girls waiting, I got them getting out, which worked. And then like just jumped around still motion style, rolling all one clip, and just got a bunch of different angles of all this happening. Got the parents, the grandparents approaching. So this is the shot I got of him, but it didn't work.
Yeah.
Just because there's weird stuff in the background. I wanted to go like up. And she was on my way, all these people in the way. My second, he was about to mic him up with the Zoom H1, doing his job, getting in my way. Yeah, so I kind of got what I wanted. And like I had all this stuff, it just didn't make the film. Like them putting their crowns on, it was just too much of the little girls, so. Yes, and then the ceremony was very long, but I used a tiny bit of clips just because there wasn't much going on. So I love me some people standing up. when the bride is approaching, but like this woman was just straight standing, and this guy, like, it wasn't the best angle. Like if they stood up as everyone else stood up, it would have been way better, but that's all I got. And let me show you this real quick, like, so where's the clip for the ceremony? Right. Okay, so the flower girls just passed. So the flower girls were like right here when the bride was right here. So like the flower girls were way slow and they started walking way too early. We got church lady. Look at all these phones and cameras. Holy crap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 in one frame. So really just, you know, her coming down, him. I didn't get much of a reaction from him because I guess we didn't have that angle running. And then, you know, I skipped pretty much an hour and 20 minutes of the ceremony and just get right to this.
Go in peace to love and serve the Lord.
Voice doesn't match up, but it's just a filler. I like all of that is an artificial. So it's a static shot and I did an artificial pan down because of the crop marks. So
Lord, thanks be to God.
Kiss the butt. A little bit of shake. That's important. Got that close up kiss. That worked. So audio wise, pull up the priest.
Thanks be to God.
Kiss the butt. And then ceremony background. So this was a separate zoom that I was running just to get the crowd. So I pulled that up. And then I pull that back down because the music starts. I don't want that to compete with this music. Extended shot, it's important. And then I love it when you do like reactions like this, where you know that there's like clapping and cheering, but you just pull down the audio so that it's like muted. It's kind of like a cool effect with the music. So I'm kind of happy with the transition from this dramatic music to lyrical, fun, energetic, end of the day music. Every morning. A lot of noise to help with the energy. Transition to details. So interspersed with the reception details, I put just bride and groom stuff. Simple from the beach. So color-wise, I did a bit to this. So this is with the Canon 6D. I added this kind of this Fuji. So it's like a Fuji Rec 07 LUT, and you can see what the effect is there. And it's at 50%. Like if it was more, it would be. Why is it doing that? That's annoying. Close-ups on hands, I like that. Slider shot.
You know, take the love you have at this moment.
So I shot these reception details with a 7200 on the slider. Are you getting the theme?
You know, take the love you have at this moment and make it the thing that binds you together going into the future forever, and we're all here.
1-2 shot, so like 1, 2 of the same moment.
Going into the future forever, and we're all here to help.
That hair though, it was really windy.
Forever, and we're all here to help you also.
So this is the angle that we got with the A7S for the speeches. So I futzed with the audio, or the color quite a bit for this. We had a 7200 on it, and we got like a tight shot, you know. It's not the best lighting, but we made it work. So see, that looks like it's slow motion, but I'm not sure. Let's go to info real quick. No, that's 24p. It looks slow motion, but it's not. This is just at night. So if there's no skin tones, you can change the color quite a bit. So I added a lot of color with the LUT contrast to that. And I did another keyframe down to add motion to a static shot. I love these kinds of transition shots just to show that it is indeed nighttime now. So adding the cheering and the audio to these intro shots are tough because they're always blaring music. So I bring it up, just get the climax of the cheering, and then bring it down quickly because the music's Just with the glide cam.
Connie, as always.
So I was on the 6D with a 24mm prime on the glide cam HD4.
Connie, as always, you look absolutely amazing tonight. Beautiful.
So he was on sticks with the Sony A7S on the 7200, and then this was like a 100mm Canon 6D, just on a tripod for the reaction shot, you know, just isolate the two of them. Sometimes it's tough if you're off angle like this to get both of them, because she's further than him to get them both in focus. So you kind of have to boost the ISO just to get like f4, you know, instead of 2.8, just to kind of help with that depth of field there.
Beautiful.
It's worth it. Because the worst thing would be if she's in focus but he's completely out of focus. And if you have to pick between the two, always pick the bride. So I'm sure the groom would like to be in focus, but it's more important that the bride is in focus.
Beautiful.
So yeah, this is what I like to do for the first dance, like start and do like a 45 down as I spin around a subject with the 24mm. Fast dancing. We had a light. We were using the light as a I hate them exit signs, but what are you gonna do?
There is literally not a
So this is handheld on a 6D with a 35mm, and that's what I like to do. I either like to have like an 85 prime on a monopod to get dancing, to get more like sniped shots like this. No, that's 35. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's like an 85, and then this is like handheld and more energetic, so I can like go in there and follow the action and just be like. So you can see this is a torch LED.
There is literally not a time in our life that you've let us down. To know you is to love you. We don't know where we would be in our.
So I had this on sticks because that can stay static and that'll remain good. And then this is on a monopod with 7200, and then I'm running around getting reaction
We
shots.
don't know where we would be in our life without you, our best friend, our sister, but we do know that standing here today on your wedding day is exactly where we're supposed to be.
Always end with the bride and groom. Cut to the title, and done. So that's it. So it was a 6-minute film. Very happy with it, you know. Very, very happy with it. And that was my first time matching Sony A7S footage to the Canon 6D, and I think it worked. It was a little more work in post just because I was shooting contrasty and he was shooting flat, so, but it was fine. Okay, thank you for watching. If you have any further questions about this edit or anything in general, leave a comment below. But until then, thank you for watching. See ya.